It's often said that the Civil War wasn't about slavery until Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 for strategic reasons. But it had always been a war for slavery for the Southern planters who seceded to protect it. And more importantly, the people they enslaved recognized it as a war for liberation from the very beginning, and they took action accordingly. By the time the Emancipation Proclamation took effect, Southern slavery was already disintegrating, primarily due to the resistance and sabotage done by enslaved people. The outbreak of the Civil War was the opening black Southerners had been waiting for centuries. With so many plantation owners and military-age white men away at war, the Confederate home front was vulnerable, and enslaved people exploited that weakness gleefully. They refused to follow orders. They stopped working. They emancipated themselves by the thousands and headed for Union lines. They formed militias and political organizations. In one Kentucky town in 1861, enslaved people even marched in the streets shouting hurrahs for Lincoln and liberty. And as soon as the Union Army came close to an enslaved population, they oftentimes openly rebelled, seizing control of their enslaver's house, eating his food, and wearing his clothes. It was only later that, in the words of W.E.B. Du Bois, with perplexed and laggard steps, the United States government followed in the footsteps of the black slave. But this was only the first stage of the servile insurrection which would crush American slavery. Once the Emancipation Proclamation explicitly turned United States forces into an army of deliverance, formerly enslaved people, free people of color, and white abolitionist radicals worked together to compel the federal government to form the United States Colored Troops and send 180,000 black men down south to destroy the slave republic of the Confederacy. The USCT infused the Union Army with fresh troops and morale at a critical point in the war, when Northern public opinion was increasingly turning toward peace and compromise. But in the fight against slavery, there could be no compromise for Black America.